The hidden cost of looking rich. There is a quiet financial trap that does not look dangerous at first, because from the outside, it often looks like success. The nicer car, the upgraded phone, the expensive watch, the designer bag, the luxury vacation, and the restaurant bill that gets posted online. To other people, it can look like wealth, confidence, progress, and a life that is finally moving upward. But sometimes, what looks like wealth from the outside is actually money leaving faster than it has the chance to grow. That is the hidden cost of looking rich, and it is one of the easiest ways to quietly destroy real wealth without realizing it. The difficult part is that status spending rarely feels irresponsible in the moment, because it often feels like a reward for working hard, a sign that you are finally doing better, or proof that you are no longer the person who used to struggle. To be fair, there is nothing wrong with enjoying your money or buying nice things when you can truly afford them. But the problem begins when the image of success becomes more important than the foundation that actually creates success. Many people do not go broke because they make too little money. They go broke because their lifestyle rises every time their income rises. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it happens when every raise, bonus, promotion, or new income stream immediately turns into a higher standard of spending. At first, the changes may seem small, like upgrading your meals, buying better clothes, or choosing more expensive entertainment, but over time, the upgrades become bigger and harder to reverse. Then you move into a more expensive place, finance a nicer car, take trips you would have avoided before, and slowly convince yourself that this new lifestyle is now your normal life. This is why lifestyle inflation is so dangerous, because it does not always feel like reckless spending while it is happening. It feels like you are simply adjusting to your new level. But if your income rises and your savings rate does not rise with it, then your future is not getting stronger, even if your lifestyle looks more impressive. You may be earning more, but financially, you are still standing in the same place, only with more expensive bills surrounding you. This is where the quote becomes painfully true. Some people look wealthy because they are spending the money that should have made them wealthy. The money that could have bought investments is being used to buy appearances, and the money that could have built an emergency fund is being used to maintain a lifestyle that cannot survive an emergency. The money that could have created freedom is being used to create monthly payments, subscriptions, debt, and pressure. And that is the part people rarely see when they look at someone who appears rich, because they see the car, but not the loan. They see the vacation, but not the credit card balance. They see the outfit, but not the empty savings account behind it. They see the expensive dinner, but not the stress when rent, bills, and unexpected expenses arrive at the same time. Looking rich is easy when money is being spent, but becoming rich usually requires money to be kept, invested, and multiplied. The person trying to look wealthy may be focused on visible symbols of success, while the person building wealth may be focused on invisible systems. One is buying things that other people can notice immediately, while the other is building assets that may not impress anyone today, but can create freedom later. This is why real wealth is often quiet, because the most powerful financial moves are usually not visible to the outside world. Paying off debt is not flashy, but it reduces pressure. Building an emergency fund is not exciting, but it creates stability. Investing every month is not dramatic, but it can quietly compound into something powerful over time. Avoiding unnecessary payments does not get applause, but it protects your future income from being controlled by your past decisions. The challenge is that society often rewards the appearance of wealth more loudly than the process of building it. Social media makes this even harder, because everyone can display the highlight reel of their spending without showing the financial reality behind it. A person can post a luxury hotel, a new car, or a shopping haul, and viewers naturally assume that person must be doing well. But a picture cannot show whether that purchase was paid in cash, financed over years, or charged to a card that is already carrying interest. A short video cannot show whether someone has investments, savings, debt, or constant anxiety about money. This creates a dangerous illusion, because people start comparing their private financial situation to someone else's public performance. And once comparison takes over, spending becomes less about need or joy and more about proving that you belong. You may buy something not because it improves your life, but because it helps you feel like you are not falling behind. You may upgrade not because the old version stopped working, but because the new version signals a better identity. You may say yes to expensive plans, not because they fit your budget, but because saying no feels embarrassing. That is how status spending quietly gets control, because it attacks your emotions before it attacks your bank account. It tells you that you deserve it, that everyone else has it, that you can afford it later, and that your image matters now. But money spent to impress people usually has a very short emotional lifespan. The excitement fades, the attention disappears, and the payment often remains. This is why the real cost of a purchase is not only the price tag, but also the future growth you gave up, the pressure you added, and the flexibility you lost. For example, a monthly car payment may look manageable on paper, especially when your income seems stable. But that payment does not exist alone, because it often comes with higher insurance, maintenance, fuel, registration, and lifestyle expectations. Suddenly, one status purchase becomes an entire financial ecosystem that keeps pulling money from your future. The same thing can happen with housing, fashion, gadgets, travel, dining out, and even social habits, because one upgrade raises the standard for everything around it. You buy better clothes, then you feel the need to go to better places. You move to a nicer neighborhood, then your old furniture starts to feel out of place. You get a luxury car, then ordinary errands feel like they should match your upgraded identity. Lifestyle inflation is rarely one big decision. It is usually a series of small approvals that slowly become permanent obligations. And because the changes happen gradually, many people do not notice that their freedom is shrinking. They may earn more than ever before, but feel more trapped than they did when they earned less. This happens because income alone does not create wealth. The gap between what you earn and what you keep creates wealth. If you earn more but spend almost all of it, your financial life becomes fragile, even if your lifestyle looks impressive. A high income with no savings can still collapse quickly when something unexpected happens. A beautiful lifestyle built on payments can feel comfortable only as long as everything goes perfectly, but life does not always go perfectly. Real wealth is what gives you options when circumstances change, whether that means handling emergencies, leaving a toxic job, surviving a slow season, helping your family, or taking a smart opportunity when it appears. Real wealth means your money is not only decorating your life today, but also protecting your choices tomorrow. This does not mean you need to live cheaply forever or feel guilty every time you enjoy something nice. The goal is not to reject comfort, beauty, or celebration. The goal is to stop trading long-term freedom for short-term appearances. There is a big difference between buying something because you genuinely value it and buying something because you want to be seen a certain way. One comes from intention, and the other comes from insecurity. One can fit inside a healthy financial plan, while the other often becomes a financial leak that never feels satisfied. The key is learning to separate real enjoyment from performative spending. Real enjoyment still feels worthwhile when nobody sees it, nobody praises it, and nobody knows how much it costs. Performative spending often loses its appeal when there is no audience, which makes it a powerful test of whether the purchase is for your life or for your image. Another helpful question is this: will this purchase make my future self stronger or weaker? Some purchases improve your life, save time, support your health, deepen relationships, or create meaningful memories. Other purchases only create a temporary feeling of status while adding pressure, debt, and regret later. The more honest you are about the difference, the easier it becomes to spend in ways that match your values. A financially strong person does not have to say no to everything, but they do need to know what they are saying yes to. Every peso, dollar, or pound you spend is also a vote for the kind of life you are building. If most of your money is voting for appearances, then your future may become dependent on keeping up that appearance. If more of your money is voting for assets, savings, skills, and freedom, then your future becomes stronger even if it looks ordinary today. This is why many wealthy people do not look as rich as people expect, because they may drive practical cars, live below their means, repeat outfits, avoid flashy upgrades, and ignore trends that others rush to follow. From the outside, they may look unimpressive, But behind the scenes, their money is quietly working. They understand that the goal is not to look successful for a moment, but to become financially secure for a lifetime. The opposite is also true. Some people with impressive lifestyles are under intense financial pressure because the image has become expensive to maintain. They may feel unable to downgrade because their identity has become tied to what they own, drive, wear, and post. That is one of the cruelest parts of status spending, because once people know you for a certain lifestyle, it can feel hard to step back. But stepping back is sometimes the bravest financial move you can make, because choosing a simpler car, a smaller home, fewer subscriptions, or less expensive social habits does not mean you failed. It may mean you are finally choosing peace over performance, and you are done letting other people's opinions decide how much of your income you are allowed to keep. One practical way to fight lifestyle inflation is to decide in advance what happens when your income increases, so every raise, bonus, or new opportunity does not automatically become more spending. For example, you might decide that half of every raise goes towards savings, investing, or debt reduction, while the other half can improve your lifestyle in a controlled way. Another powerful habit is delaying major upgrades, even when you technically can afford them, because time helps you see whether the desire is real or just emotional excitement, comparison, or pressure from your environment. Many purchases lose their urgency when you wait a few weeks, because the fantasy is often stronger than the reality. If you still want it later, and it fits your plan without damaging your foundation, then you can buy it with more confidence. You can also create a wealth before status rule for yourself, which means you build the emergency fund before upgrading the car, invest consistently before expanding your lifestyle, and pay down high-interest debt before buying things designed mainly to impress. The goal is not to look poor, act cheap, or deny yourself forever. The goal is to make sure your visible lifestyle does not outrun your invisible foundation. Because when your image grows faster than your assets, you may impress people while quietly weakening your own future. But when your assets grow faster than your image, you may look ordinary for a while, yet become stronger every year. That quiet path does not create instant applause, but it creates something better: options, confidence, and peace. The hidden cost of looking rich is not just the money you spend today, it is the wealth you never build, the stress you normalize, and the freedom you slowly trade away. So the next time you feel pressure to upgrade, impress, or prove something, pause and ask what that money could become if it worked for you instead. Because the most powerful version of wealth is not always the one people can see. Sometimes, real wealth is the paid-off debt, the growing investment account, the quiet emergency fund, and the calm feeling that you do not need to perform for anyone. Looking rich may get attention, but building wealth gives you control. And in the long run, control is far more valuable than applause. If this helped you rethink the difference between looking rich and building real wealth, please like this video, subscribe for more practical money lessons, and share it with someone who needs to hear this.